the danger, stay on. Now's your chance.
Hey everyone, Jack Reeve, TalkNorwichCity here, back for another Predicted 11 video. How are you guys all doing? Thank you for tuning in once again. Before we get into anything, I just want to thank you so much for your support on the latest TNC podcast. It was with Gary Carser, Paul Lambert's former assistant manager. Through them wonderful years, the back-to-back promotions, that podcast has nearly got 500 likes. You guys seem to love it. Gary has been blown away by the reaction. We're definitely going to try and get him back for a part 2. If you haven't already seen it, go and check it out. Also, there's big boosts on FansBet this weekend. Both teams to score and Norwich to win. There's been both teams scoring in 85% of West Brom's games this year, and also Timu Pukki to score and Norwich to win, because Pukki scores for fun. They're both boosted. Links in the description below if you fancy a flutter. FansBet have been really good to me, so yeah, thanks to them guys. Anyway, West Brom, Saturday. This is a big one, isn't it? This is a really, really big game for both teams. If West Brom win, they go level on points with us. If we win, we start to forge a bit of a gap between us and West Brom, which is always good. They're a good side, though, West Brom. I'm not going to get away from that. They've got a lot of Premier League players. You look at Dwight Gale, Jay Rodriguez. I know Livermore is out, suspended this weekend, but still fantastic players. They've scored lots of goals, but they've also conceded a lot of goals, much like us this season. They've kind of replicated what we've done to a certain extent, playing free-flowing football. Had a bit of a blip in sort of October time, I think it was. They started really well, then had a blip. Now they're back on it. It's going to be a cracker of a game this weekend. This is the team I would play. Tim Krul in goal. I don't think there's any doubts about that. I was actually quite impressed with Michael McGovern against Portsmouth, but I don't think he's up to Tim Krul's standards at all. Tim Krul keeps his place. In at left back, I'm really looking forward to when Jamal Lewis is back. That isn't anything against Ben Godfrey, but it's evident that Ben's out of position. He did score against Derby, of course, let's not forget that. He's a versatile player as Ben, and he's going to be really, really up for this one. So that is fantastic. Two centre-backs, Christoph Zimmermann next to Tim Close. It would have been interesting to see if Grant Hanley would have been in contention for this if he hadn't have been sent off against Portsmouth. I didn't realise, but he hasn't started until Portsmouth. He hasn't started since the Ipswich game, which is unbelievable. That was at the start of September. He's very much out of kind of match fitness and just match sharpness. I think that's probably the word. In at right back, I think probably our player of the season so far, Max Aarons. Now, things start to change a little bit in midfield, mainly due to injuries. Morris Leitner still out injured, which isn't ideal, but this is the two I would go with. I'd go with Thomas Tribal, who I thought was really good when he came on against Brentford, next to Alexander Tete, who I still has his critics, and I think there's reason to be critical of Tete. His passing's not the best, he's not the quickest, but we just look more of a side, more of a squad when Tete is in there. We just seem to function slightly better. So Tete keeps his place. And now we've got injuries in the forward positions as well. We've got Emi Buendia out injured. Hopefully he will be back very soon. There was rumour that he might even make the squad for this weekend. I'm filming this before the press conference, so I'm not overly sure about that, but I doubt he's going to be starting the game. We've got Marco Stiepermann out injured, so that changes things a little bit because probably they both start. So I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to be a little bit edgy with my team selection. I'm going to go with Pukki in the number 10 role. Now, stick with me here. This is probably slightly mad, but this is what I'm thinking. Rhodes up top. I'm going to go with Cantwell out on the left. I thought was magnificent against Portsmouth. And then Onel Hernandez out on the right. So, what's the thinking here then? Well, West Brom's defence certainly aren't the best, and neither is ours, granted. But I think them two, I'd love to see them two play together. I think there's something about them two that just complement each other really nicely. I'm not sure if it'd work across a whole 90. It certainly does in the sort of final 20 minutes of games when Jordan Rhodes being brought on. But they just click, I think. And I'd really like to see Pukki in behind Rhodes. I'm not sure, to be honest, about Cantwell out on the left. I think he's a top player. I think he's more suited to the number 10. But I don't want to push Pukki out there. Cantwell would probably drift more central. And Hernandez, I just love watching Hernandez play. He puts defenders on the back foot, doesn't he? He doesn't always get his cross in. I think he's certainly improved on that. There's a goal in him. And certainly on the counter-attack, this man has so much potential. So that's the team I'm going to go for. It's different, I will admit. Please do leave your starting 11s down in the comment section, because you've probably got slightly more brain cells than me. This is going to be a fascinating game, isn't it? It really is. We've won just once in 5, which isn't promotion form, but we were always going to have a slight blip, if you want to call this a blip. I'm not sure if it is, but we do need to start picking up some decent wins again. I think once we get to Ipswich, we will know roughly whereabouts we'll probably finish this season, if we're still in for a hunt with the automatics. We've got Leeds, we've got Sheffield United, we've got Birmingham, we've got West Brom, and of course Ipswich, which is not going to be easy. Derby matches are never easy. So big sort of month and a bit coming up now, and it all starts here really. If we could kick it off with an away win here, fantastic. I would take a draw. I mean, we've only lost once in our last 13 away games. That's an encouraging statistic. West Brom have only managed 2 clean sheets all season. They have also won 4 of their last 5 games, though, West Brom. So this is going to be tough, but it's certainly in our capabilities to go there and win. We always seem to do quite well at the Hawthorns. I can remember some really good times in the Premier League there, FA Cup victories there. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one. So let me know your starting 11 down in the comment section below. If you fancy a flutter, head over to FansBet. Links in the description to that. Thank you very much for watching, as always. And thank you for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to me, Chris, Connor, everyone. So thank you. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.